In the headlines tonight, "17-gun salute fired to honor fallen 4-star General Eli Tumwine."
You are not in the constituency. You are not in the house. So where are you?
Speaker of Parliament to penalize MPs who shun plenary and committee seatings. Also, Supreme Court of Kenya starts hearing of presidential election petition. And in sports, killing machine Shafiq Chiwenuka praised by Uganda Kingdom officials for boxing prowess. Good evening and welcome to CTV PM Edition. Today is Tuesday, the 30th of August, 2022. My name is Agi Oase with Isaac Luchamazi on Sign Language. Kick-starting off tonight's edition, thousands of people have today gathered at Remikoma Sub-County in Kazo District to bid farewell to the former Security Minister, General Eli Tumwine, who succumbed to lung cancer last week. It was quite a somber mood as mourners stand up to pay their last respects to the fallen soldier. Let's take a look.
Hailed as a patriot and an accomplished military officer, General Eli Tumwine, who died on Thursday, succumbing to lung cancer in Nairobi Hospital, was laid to rest in Remikoma, Kazo District. As the body was being laid to rest, he was accorded a 17-gun salute befitting of an officer who managed to rise up through the ranks to the rank of 4-star general, the highest rank held by an individual in the Uganda People's Defense Forces.
The next Prime Minister is laying her rest as the chief mourner. I carry him from NASA. I carry him Parliament for a very long time.
Before being laid to rest, the children of the fallen general eulogized their father as one who loved them and always strived to achieve whatever he put his mind to, and was a devout Christian.
We are all uniquely made, but there is no one like Daddy. And why I say that is because when everyone walked in this direction, Daddy walked in the opposite one. He set a standard for himself that wasn't there. He has set a standard.
Byone bintu tubino mugasho ahataro rukomi. Bible negira ngu okunda kwemera byona kwikiriza byona kugira amatsiko ahari byona kugumisiriza byona.
Friends to the late General Eli Tumwine, led by former Minister of Works and Transport John Nasasera, described him as a cordial and an outgoing man who loved his acquaintances and nation.
Omukago gwa politics gwayeyongera gwanywana. Okukorera kazi okumwe n'okuteesa kwayeyongera. N'akola na Tumwine. Ng'okuruhanga akikora Tumwine yaraga burunga yija.
Abantu tugambira ebigambo bingi ahari Tumwine kuko abantu bagamba kuonka Tumwine ekiconco kye kyagizire ekikuru ekiyabera tahumutima ekiyabera akunda kakita humutima
Mwabere muzahanshonga yagira idi obekiri obegwiri aremeraho kandi kwabere
Robina Nabanja, who was the chief mourner representing the president, revealed that the country and the national resistance movement have lost a cadre whose loyalty was unmatched.
Eli Tumwine akaba member wa Parliament w'amani. Obwire obukusinga yabaga mu Parliament.
General Eli Tumwine was the first army commander of the then National Resistance Army, which is now UPDF. He then went on to become member of Parliament representing the army and served as minister in charge of security. He is notably remembered for being the person who fired the first bullet to start the 1981-86 Bush War, which ushered the national resistance movement to power on the 26th of January 1986. Heston Munanura, CTV PM Edition.
260 officers of Uganda People's Defence Force have today been retired from the army with a caution to exhibit the highest discipline in the new world. The ceremony was presided over by the Commander of Land Forces, Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba at Bombo Army Barracks.
Colonel Moses Lutaya, who is among the people who are earmarked for retirement today, joined the National Resistance Army in 1982 during the peak of the Bush War in Luwero district. Colonel Lutaya, who has served his country for more than 40 years, finally decided to retire this year after years of resistance.
From the Bush, I joined in 82. It was still a young force. And then we regularized it to UPDF, from NRA to UPDF. And after my training as officer cadet in Tanzania, 86 to 87, I acquired the second lieutenant. But still we came back, there were no ranks. 4 to 5 years, we are just there, waiting for the years.
According to Lutaya, he will continue serving the government of Uganda under the Operation Wealth Creation Program.
I'm lucky I'm one of those who were selected earlier in 2014 to join Operation Wealth Creation Program set by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And I've been with the civilian life for almost 8 years now. I have acquired a lot of experience, and I have some investments that I started. I think I will be continuing with them.
Several other officers today were retired from the army to pave way for other officers. The camp commandant at Bombo Army Barracks, Joseph Kidega, hailed the retirees for the efforts in fighting for peace and stability of their nation.
Comrades, your sacrifice, devotion, diligence, and contribution towards attaining peace and stability, social economic transformation of this country and Africa cannot be taken for granted. Your tireless efforts toward the development of this nation, Africa, has registered greater achievement so far, and this is evidently justifiable.
Kidega advises the retired officers to maintain discipline and involve themselves in productive work.
Where you are going, you have to maintain the spirit of now, because where you are going, you may be infested by several wrong ideas. So you need to be cautious. And that is what Jesus said when he was sending out the disciples. He said, go, but be cautious.
The Command of Land Forces, Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who was the chief guest, says retiring senior officers is part of the Army plans to build a professional army.
We did this because, one, it is good to do, but two, it is part of the ongoing process of renewal and reconstruction of land forces that has been taking place.
General Muhoozi says the retirees should be prepared to be called on if need be.
They are just transitioning. I call it transitioning. You're transitioning from active service to reserve forces now. You're still within the UPDF family. You have not left the UPDF family, even when you leave the active force.
This is the 12th bunch UPDF officers to be retired from the Army. 260 UPDF officers were retired from the Army. Out of these, 62 on the rank of Colonel, 65 at the rank of Lieutenant Colonels, and 133 at the rank of Major. Only one senior officer, Colonel Igasa Jabi, missed out on the retirement after dying a few days ago. Safi, Mokele Beluk and Chris Semalemu Semakula for CTV PM Edition.
Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has today revealed that Parliament is going to start issuing warning letters to members of Parliament who have made it a habit to miss both committees and plenary sessions. According to the Speaker, many MPs are still failing to attend the August House and committees as well, yet they are not in their constituencies, something she has vowed to follow up.
During the parliamentary sitting chaired by the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, which took place this morning, the Speaker spoke out the issue of absenteeism and her disappointment with members of Parliament after finding the House half empty.
Government Chief Whip, you have a lot of work to do. Government Chief Whip, on opposition, you have a lot of work to do. The members are not attending the House. The members are not attending committees. We are forced, because we've talked about this each and every day. You know, however much you love your children, you have to use stick and carrot. We are using taxpayers' money. The money that people are using for paying us is from taxpayers. You are not in the constituency. You are not in the House, so where are you?
According to Speaker Among, she has already embarked on the process of compiling a list of MPs who have not been attending plenary and committee meetings. The Speaker says defaulters will be held accountable.
Carefully evaluated the attendance records of committees and the House for the month of July to date. And I have found out a very high absenteeism of members of Parliament. We are 556, but you find the common faces every day, day in, day out. You see the Namugas here. You're not legislating for them. We are forced to give you warning letters. We are going to give you warning letters.
Although members of Parliament tried to cover up for themselves, revealing that Parliament sitting were reduced because of the COVID-19 pandemic, Speaker Among reiterated that the ban was lifted.
The time, you remember very well, Right Honourable Speaker, when only 100 members could access this House. So Right Honourable Speaker, I would seek your indulgence that whereas you are going to give the members a warning, it is a light warning since they are first offenders.
Recall, Right Honourable Speaker, with the advent of COVID, attendance of the House was being done in shifts. I don't know whether that has been reversed. And if it is reversed, there's need to be an official communication to the effect that now the House is free, we can all come in at once and at a go, and we become part of the process.
But one of the challenges we are facing as members, there is no harmonization. You find yourself same day, same time. Chairperson, I sit on two committees of the one for gender and human rights.
Government Chief Whip Hamson Obua has applauded the Speaker on the coming out on the issue of absenteeism and vowed to whip all members, including the ministers who don't want to attend parliamentary sessions.
This is my humble call, especially to the members I whip. Let's commit to attending Parliament Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Then you have time to go to the constituency.
Furthermore, the Speaker has requested for a 12-hour notice from members who want to attend sessions online as per the rules of procedure.
Having obtained the leave of a Speaker and registered with a clerk 12 hours before.
Going forward, members of Parliament who have been snobbing session will be given warning letters, and if they repeat, the Act of Parliament will be forced to take action. Sarah Nakandi for CTV PM Edition.
The leader of opposition in Parliament, Mathias Mpuuga, has today told Parliament that the National Unity Platform will not participate in the coming East African Legislative Assembly elections. Honorable Mpuuga made these remarks while reacting to the Speaker of Parliament, who confirmed that preparations to fill the 9 EALA slots were already underway. We have more.
The opposition political party National Unity Platform is the leading opposition party in Parliament, with approximately 57 members of Parliament. But today, through the leader of opposition, Mathias Mpuuga, the opposition announced that they will not be taking part in the forthcoming East African Legislative Assembly elections. According to Mpuuga, this was brought about by the ruling National Resistance Movement, NRM.
NUP is not going to be part of the rituals for Iyala. NUP will participate in an election where the rules of the game are respected and actually parties are respected. We are in a multi-party dispensation. We are not here courtesy of anybody's magnanimity, but as a matter of law and right. Right, Honourable Speaker.
Mpuga today was reacting to the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, who urged political parties to submit names of their candidates.
This is therefore to remind all the whips to ensure that all their political parties provide Parliament with their nominated candidates. We have so far received some candidates. We have only not received from NUP.
The Speaker, who once contested for the Iyala seat under the opposition political party Forum for Democratic Change, vowed to oversee a fair election, a far cry away from what happened when she ran.
Because when we selected you in FDC to go to Iyala, the NRM connived and stopped you from going. So it's important that parties and individuals in parties are not greedy.
The voters of Iyala are in this house. They will vote from this house. The best 9 will take it. The best 9 will take it, will follow the law.
The ruling National Resistance Movement have often swooped majority of the positions in the race. Of the 9 seats, NRM has been taking 6 seats, while 2 seats have often gone to the opposition and 1 seat left to an independent member. Ramson Mihure, CTV PM Edition.
The State Minister for Higher Education and Minister for Primary Education, Honorable Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, today warned teachers and head teachers against irregular increase in school fees. The minister's warning comes at a time when schools are getting ready to commence with the 3rd term before revealing the challenges they are facing as government in the implementation of the new syllabus.
As schools commence to prepare for the reopening of the 3rd term, the State Minister for Higher Education and Minister for Primary Education, John Chrysostom Muyingo, has today come out to reiterate his firm warning to school owners and operators who have intentions of increasing school fees.
Arbitrary fees increment is unacceptable because it has contributed to many of our children going out of school. If there is a need to raise or to change the fees structure, follow the guidelines given by the Ministry of Education, and that is, call the body meeting, call the parents in a meeting. Once you have agreed over anything, don't implement it until you've got permission from the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Sports.
Dr. Muyingo, who was addressing teachers, head teachers and school owners who had gathered at Kololo Senior Secondary School in Kampala to make a review of the previous academic terms 1 and 2, also revealed that they are still facing challenges with the new education syllabus.
While a good number of our teachers have embarked on implementing the competence-based curriculum, many of them still refer to it as tiresome in terms of preparation, and of course in even instructional materials, among many others. There are complaints there when you go to visit. This attitude is affecting the successful implementation of this program.
Other stakeholders such as Star Education, a non-government organization, and the Association of Secondary School Head Teachers ASHU have also come out to empower the teachers with practical knowledge to help them implement the new syllabus with ease.
Been running a 2-day training for the chairpersons of head teachers under the Association of Secondary School Head Teachers of Uganda here at Kololo SS. The whole vision of this program is that we create the capacity of head teachers to be able to own and therefore go back to their schools and create the capacity of teachers. The head teachers are the head teachers. They are in charge of managing the teachers, setting the environment for them to operate, and therefore it's important that as we talk about the capacity of teachers, we include their bosses who are the head teachers so that the teachers can then go and work with their teachers and create that capacity.
The collaboration that has so far covered 78 districts of Uganda out of the 148 intends to not only bring teachers from private schools and government schools close, but to also empower them with skills to cope up with the new syllabus of education. Kevin Kasoma, CTV PM Edition.
Well, thank you, Kevin, for that report. Now, we're taking a short break, but we'll be right back with more stories. To stay with us.
The big debate is back. Bigger, bolder, reloaded. Whether it is securing your future, holding fast to the people power, or the promise of a one Uganda, one thing is certain: the big debate is on.
So why don't you respect the memories of doctors for this? We have already addressed the issue of increment.
How many people have ever been convicted?
Okay.
The way the politics plays in cabinet.
So now why are they asking for the statement?
Follow mainstream conversations on current affairs and leading policy debates in Uganda.
It is in our interest to handle arrested people very nicely.
Right here on The Big Debate.
Let me finalize this. I was quiet. I was quiet.
It's a hard-hitting talk show on development issues in the political and social-economic arena. Discussions that inform policy and trigger high-level dialogue. Now showing on CTV. Don't blink.
We spend all the time trying to live other people's life. And along the way, we lose who we are by copying what other people are doing in their relationship.
You see, from the last time I met your sister, I've not spent a day or a minute without thinking about her.
It's a good surprise on a Monday. This is nice.
So you and him are
we're just friends. Wow. Come on.
Just friends.
You either tell me where you're from, or you go back to where you've been. Thinking it would work out for us, but yet to find out that's not who we are after experiencing a great disappointment.
She's in love with some other man, so classy, a gentleman, not poor dogs like you.
These are the mistakes girls do.
Now showing on CTV. Don't blink. CTV is now on StarTimes. You can now catch all your favorite programs, our daily comprehensive news bulletins, and so much more on StarTimes channel number 248. Stay tuned for a world of endless possibilities. CTV. Don't blink.
Welcome back. You're still watching CTV PM Edition with me, Agi Uwase, and Isaac Luchamzi in sign language. Now, moving on, the Supreme Court of Kenya has begun hearing the presidential poll petition by Raila Odinga, who is challenging the result of the August 9th presidential election, which delivered victory to William Ruto. Odinga said he had proof that he had won the election, which requires a candidate to receive 50% of the vote plus one. He wants a recount.
The 7 bench judges led by Martha Koome already began the pre-trials on Tuesday. This follows Monday's ruling on 2 affidavits that were struck out. In the previous rulings, the judges ruled out Odinga's involvement in the chaos that happened at the National Tally Center at the Bomas of Kenya when the chairperson of the Electoral Commission wanted to declare the president-elect. The 77-year-old veteran politician who was running for the 5th time in the presidential election and was backed by incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta and his party lost the election by some 230,000 votes, 50.49% to 48.85%. In a statement to the court, Ruto said Odinga had in the past systematically challenged the results of the presidential election and fomented national crises after losing. He accused the former prime minister of trying to try his luck again by forcing a new candidacy through judicial means. Mr. Ruto said it is against the public interest to keep the country in a perpetual election campaign, adding that the uncertainty would rather damage Kenya's deteriorating economy, which is already struggling with high inflation. According to the a 72-page petition, the Odinga camp claims that 140,028 ballots were not counted and that this significantly affects the final results insofar as none of the candidates reaches the constitutional threshold of 50% plus 1 votes to win the election in the first round. The judges must rule on this petition by September 5th. If they order the cancellation of the election, a new election must be held within 60 days. Odinga had called the results announced by the Electoral Commission, the IEBC, a travesty. After his previous defeats, he had already filed legal challenges in 2013 and in 2017. In 2017, the Supreme Court invalidated the presidential election due to irregularities and ordered a new election, a first in Africa. In 2017, Odinga had rejected the result without going to court, triggering the worst post-election crisis in the country's history, with more than 1,100 deaths in inter-ethnic clashes. Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua, August 22nd, filed a petition to the country's top court challenging the outcome of the August 9 election.
The Uganda Road Court has set the 1st of September 2022 as the date it will deliver its sentence in a case where 2 people were found guilty of killing 6 tree-climbing lions at Queen Elizabeth National Park. The defense team, which was appearing before the magistrate Gladys Kamasanyu today, asked court for a lighter sentence to give to the accused a second chance since they are first-time offenders. Flavia Nikuze has more.
Guilty and convicted by Uganda Road Court before Magistrate Gladys Kamasanyu for killing lions in Queen Elizabeth National Park. While appearing in court today, the state attorney prayed to court to give the convicts the maximum sentence of a life imprisonment sentence, which was objected by the defense lawyer, who pleaded with court to give them a second chance, since they are first-time offenders.
Considered the opinion that they should not be punished for having been incited to commit a crime. Your Honor, it's our considered opinion that these 2 gentlemen be given a second chance.
In the mitigation statement, the defense reiterated that the 2 are family men who have responsibilities to fulfill, and they have showed remorse for the acts they have committed.
Your Honor, for Vincent, 4 of his kids are still primary school going children, and they have dropped out of school because the father, who was the sole breadwinner, has been in incarceration.
Magistrate Gladys Kamasanyu set 1st September as the day she will deliver her sentence on the matter. The 2 are facing 5 counts of poisoning and killing 6 lions, being in possession of wildlife species, hunting and entering a wildlife sanctuary without permission. According to evidence on court record, the 6 lions were poisoned and killed on 17th and 19th March 2021 at Habgomba Job Meeting Ground, Isasha Sector, Queen Elizabeth National Park, in Kanungu, where the 2 entered Queen Elizabeth National Park without permission. The 2 have been in prison for a year now, await their punishment. Flavia Nkuze for CTV, PM Edition.
Now, leaders in Hoima district are troubled with increasing hygiene-related illnesses, especially among people living near Lake Albert. According to reports, Hoima Regional Referral Hospital receives more than 50 patients, mainly coming from sub-counties of Baseruka, Kabale, and those surrounding Lake Albert. According to Hoima District Health Officer Dr. Lawrence Tumusime, patients are presenting with diseases like dysentery, cholera, among others, that has raised concern from the residents.
I want to thank them, and I also want to warn other companies. I have so many companies here who are working on roads, who are working on different activities, and they have not fulfilled this responsibility. However much it is not a must, but it is an obligation indirectly that what you are getting out of the community, you are supposed to give them back indirectly. So I want to thank the SBC and warn those companies that they must also do the corporate social responsibility to appreciate the communities who have been giving them different support to achieve their objectives and to complete it.
The sign of somebody bring blood through the nose, other parts of the body, that's a bad sign. Extreme temperatures and so on. Yeah, man. You are taking me where now? Let's go to the hospital.
In the regional news tonight, Kenya's opposition leader Raila Odinga says he will respect the Supreme Court ruling on poll petition, while the re-elected president of Angola, João Lourenço, has promised to press on with political commitments with courage and responsibility during his second mandate. We have more. Kenya's opposition leader Raila Odinga has reiterated that he will respect the Supreme Court ruling. Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua on August 22nd filed a petition to the country's top court challenging the outcome of the August 9th election. In a recent press conference, Odinga reaffirmed his confidence in the Supreme Court ruling, despite saying that he won the just concluded presidential election. Odinga said he had proof that he had won the election, which requires a candidate to receive 50% of the vote plus one. He wants a recount. The 77-year-old politician lost his fifth bid for the presidency by a narrow margin of around 230,000 votes, less than 2 percentage points. Since 2002, no presidential election in Kenya has gone uncontested, with this year's outcome also causing a rift within the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, which oversaw the poll. According to a copy of the 72-page petition seen by AFP, Odinga alleges the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati failed to tally around 140,000 votes. As a result, Ruto did not meet the constitutional threshold of 50% plus one of the valid votes cast, a requirement for him to be declared the winner. Judges now have less than a week to issue a ruling. If they order an annulment, a new vote must be held within 60 days. The re-elected president of Angola, João Lourenço, promised to press on with the political commitments with courage and responsibility during his second mandate. On Monday, the National Electoral Commission announced the results of the election, the tightest in the country's history. Impala's victory means a government that assumes its political commitments with courage and responsibility, an executive that is not afraid to break with the powers in place and to make the necessary changes, promised re-elected President João Lourenço. The ruling party, Impala, in power since Angola's independence in 1975, won 51.17% of the vote against 43.95% of the main opposition party, UNITA. The ruling party retains an absolute majority in parliament with 124 seats out of 220, but it loses the two-thirds majority that allowed it to pass laws without the support of another party. Several members of the NEC refused to sign the final results, and last week the opposition contested the preliminary results, which already gave Impala the victory. Parties have 72 hours after the announcement of the final results to contest them. And on the international scene, the UN Secretary General has warned that Pakistan floods are a monsoon on steroids after floods submerged a third of the country, while at least 23 people have been killed in some of the worst fighting for years in Iraq's capital, Baghdad, sparked by key leaders' decision to quit politics. Pakistan is facing a monsoon on steroids, the UN Secretary General has warned, after floods submerged a third of the country. Antonio Guterres urged the world to come to Pakistan's aid as he launched a $160 million appeal to help tens of millions affected in the disaster. He blamed the relentless impact of epochal levels of rain and flooding. At least 1,136 people have been killed since June, and roads, crops, homes and bridges washed away across the country. This year's record monsoon is comparable to the devastating floods of 2010, the deadliest in Pakistan's history, which left more than 2,000 people dead. In a video message, Mr. Guterres called South Asia a climate crisis hotspot, where people were 15 times more likely to die from climate impacts. He said the UN appeal aimed to provide 5.2 million people with food, water, sanitation, emergency education and health support. Officials estimate that more than 33 million Pakistanis, 1 in 7 people, have been affected by the flooding.
Sadia, a student in Quetta, the capital of Balochistan province, said she felt helpless as her family were cut off in their home village of Jalmagasi, about 8 hours away. You cannot find a single home that is safe now, she told the news agency. They are under the sky with no help. Right now, they need fast aid relief like tents, some shelter, and some basic food. They cannot cook anything, and they need clean water to drink, she added. At least 23 people have been killed in some of the worst fighting for years in Iraq's capital Baghdad, sparked by a key leader's decision to quit politics. Gunshots and a rocket fire rang out as the supporters of Shia Muslim cleric Muqtada al-Sadr clashed with security forces and militias aligned with Iran. Mr. Sadr has ordered his supporters to withdraw from outside parliament, where they have been protesting for weeks. Iraq has been in a state of paralysis since inconclusive elections in 2021. The violence began on Monday after Mr. Sadr, one of Iraq's most influential figures, said he was withdrawing from political life. His bloc won the most seats in October's election, but could not agree on the formation of a new government with the second largest bloc, comprised mainly of Iran-backed parties. Once an Iranian ally, Mr. Sadr has repositioned himself as a nationalist, wanting to end U.S. and Iranian influence over Iraq's internal affairs. The fighting has been taking place between Mr. Sadr's militia, known as the Peace Brigades, militias supported by Iran, and members of the Iraqi security forces.
They want new elections without...
PM Edition takes a short break, but we'll be right back with more news from the world of sports. Do stay with us.
Three words: convenience, passion, and pride. Introducing the KCCA app, made for you to interact with the best football club in Uganda, giving you the latest news, transfers, membership options, merchandise online shop, match ticket booking, and fan zone instant messaging. To download the beta app, go to Google Play Store on your Android and search for KCFC. Download the app, sign up, and voila, you're in. Yes, the app is only available for Android users. iOS users, we are coming soon. The KCCFC app, inspired by you, made for you.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. My name is Agi Oase with Isaac Luchamuzi on Sign Language. Now moving on to the world of sports, the sport of boxing in Uganda has been on the rise, with many youths trying out the sport as a way of survival. There are indeed success stories such as the current champions Shafik Chiwenuka and Latib Mwonge, who visited the Deputy Prime Minister of Buganda, Professor Twaha Kawase Chigongo, at Bulange Mengo. We have more.
Last month, Ugandan boxer Shafik Chiwenuka knocked out Nesta Fabian from Argentina in just 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Nesta's defeat sent Chiwenuka into a world celebration for clinching the Universal Boxing Council Intercontinental Heavyweight title. Chiwanuka, together with fellow professional boxer Latib Muwonge, who currently has the WBA Africa Superweight Lightweight belt, met the Deputy Prime Minister of Buganda Kingdom today in Mengo to share their success. The Deputy Prime Minister, Professor Twaha Kawase Chigongo, appreciated their achievements and encouraged them to plan for their earnings from boxing well in order to have a peaceful retirement. Chiwanuka, a former national team boxer, will be back in the ring on the 16th of next month in Tanzania looking to defend his title. Chigongo is optimistic that Chiwanuka is going to prepare fully and continue representing the country on a high. Chiwanuka himself is full of confidence.
Knockouts are our business.
This will be Chiwanuka's 6th fight in the professional ranks since making his debut in 2018. He is still undefeated, winning 4, 3 of them by knockouts and a draw that came against South African Chris Thompson at the end of last year. Noah Walakira, CTV, PM Edition.
We've come to the end of CTV PM Edition. My name is Agi Owase with Isaac Luchamzi on Sign Language. Thanks for watching and have a good night.